The Gong Show, only on Remedy Live.
Welcome back to The Gong Show. Been asking some questions on our Facebook page. If you're not a friend of Remedies on our Facebook page, like if you haven't liked us, could I encourage you to do that? Because we like when people like us. We get really sad when people don't like us. Like there's a kid in my neighborhood that hates us, and he's mean to us.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I told you that. One day I was out in my front yard with my hot wife, and we were kind of, I don't know what we were doing, something in the front yard, and he drove by with his friends in his car, and you know what he said? He rolled down his window. You know what he said? Suck it! You know where you live, bro.
Is that the only thing
You know
he's
where I
ever
live,
done?
too. What's that?
Is that the only thing he's ever done? Or?
Yeah, like what does he mean by that? Suck it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does he mean by that?
Right.
Like, does he somehow know that our basement flooded recently and that we had to suck up gallons and gallons of water? Is that what he's talking about?
Right. I don't know.
Maybe he was the one that caused our sump pump to fail. Anywho, not going to be bitter about it.
You're
going to be bitter about it. Yeah, I've been asking some questions. So today I said on our Facebook page, why do we do what we don't want to do? Why do we do what we don't want to do? We say, "Oh, I don't want to do that," but we do it. You know. So that's kind of where I want to start. But I want to go back a little bit here and look at some of the other comments from some of our friends that have commented on some of my other posts. Why is it hard to forgive? That was a question that I asked. But the question that I really want to talk about today is, why don't people confess their sins anymore? Sydney said, because we are afraid of seeming weak and vulnerable. However, we can give those weaknesses and vulnerabilities to the Lord, for He will renew us and give us strength. Megan says, I do every day. Awesome. Abraham says, because of the judgment piled upon us by brothers and sisters and quote-unquote Christians. Found that fascinating. Ben, who's a friend of mine, says people who live in the Christian culture have a strong distaste for admitting they've done anything wrong. If you aren't perfect in the church's eyes, then you're not fit for ministry. Camden says people are full of fear today in our world and cover it up with more sin or other stuff. So kind of escapism. I thought that was pretty good, Camden. Mm-hmm. Jessica says I need to do that more often. So she recognizes that confession is more important. She needs to do it more often. Dawn says relativism. Absolutes are still absolute. Cyrus, they do, but don't proclaim it to others. So he thinks confession's still going on, but people just don't proclaim it. Like me, I'm a proclaimer of my sin because I don't want to have any secrets. Katie, my good friend Katie, says, I think this shows the need and importance of finding an accountability partner. Mm-hmm. Good to have people you can be straight up with. Martha, and by the way, love the name Martha. That's my grandma's name. None of us wants to appear weak or wrong in front of those who seem all too willing to judge us harshly and hastily. Those same people who judge then want mercy for themselves. Go figure. I thought those were fascinating insights. Thank you so much for sharing all those. We often find ourselves doing things that we don't want to do. Why do I do what I don't want to do? Find ourselves in Romans chapter 7. And here it is. Paul is writing all this stuff, and he's talking about the battle with sin. Can you get a shot of that there, Alex? The battle with sin. I'm reading out the Cure Bible here. The battle with sin. Okay? Yep. Does this mean that the law is sinful? Certainly not. But if it had not been for the law, I would have not known what sin is really like. So the law helps me understand what's good, what's bad. If we don't have the law, if we don't have the word, if we don't have the Bible, we don't know what's in bounds and what's out of bounds. Right? So this kind of helps us understand, oh, this is the best way for us to live our lives? God, our creator who built us, manufactured us, this is what he wants for us? The best way to live life? It goes on to say, before I knew about the law, I was alive. But as soon as I heard that command, sin or selfishness came to life and I died. The very command that was supposed to bring life to me instead brought death, because now I'm aware of what I shouldn't be doing. It's like back to the book of Genesis. You can do whatever you want in this beautiful garden, but don't you eat from that tree. Don't you dare. And we know what happens. we get tempted by the things that we're weak in, the things that we struggle with, and we end up kind of falling to them. It says in verse 13, am I saying that something good caused my death? Certainly not. It was sin or selfishness that killed me by using something good. Now we can see how terrible and evil the selfishness of man really is. We know that the law is spiritual, but I am merely a human, and I have been sold as a slavery into my selfishness. As a human, I will always want to do what I want to do. In fact, I don't understand why I act the way I do. I don't do what I know is right. I do the things I hate. Although I don't do what I know is right, I agree that the law, God's word, is good. So I am not the one doing these bad things. Instead, it's the selfishness within me. We've talked a lot on the show lately about the fact that you aren't what you do. You are not a cutter. You are not suicidal. You are not somebody that is a junkie or a porn. You're not a porn addict. You are a human being that has value to us at Remedy. That's why we exist. You have value, more importantly, to the one that is the great remedy, Jesus, the one who died for you in a real event in history 2,000 years ago. And you, who you are, matters more than what you do. Your doing will always end up really messing with your brain, because we all do things that are stupid. I'm at the top of my A game some days, thinking I'm so great. I've got this thing licked, and then within moments I fail. I do something stupid. I yell at somebody, or I judge someone in my mind, and I think, oh man, I haven't even come anywhere. I'm still the same guy I was, way back there. But my actions don't measure who I am. Failure is not final. I am a work in progress, and I'm someone that needs God to be able to help live day in and day out. And I try to measure my success in small increments. I don't look at the entire life of who I am ahead of me. I look at day to day to day to day to day. Can I praise you God, can I praise you today? Can I live for you today? Maybe it's hour to hour to say, I am not going to be selfish this hour. I am instead going to be selfless, and I'm going to serve God this next hour. I'm not going to give in to the temptations, the voices, the desire to hurt myself, the desire to do whatever it is. I want to live in this hour for victory, and then just hour by hour live in that victory, rather than looking at it as a big long day, as a big long life. We have soul medics that are standing by to talk to you about these things. And it's simple. Just pull out a cell phone and text the word remedy to 313131. If you do not have a cell phone, go to our website that you're on already watching this and click the live chat now button. If there's not a soul medic on, fill out that form, submit the form, send an email, and they'll get back to you. They want to chat with you. They want to help you, because we chat, listen, love. We want you to live on purpose and not by accident. Here's some Super Chick. Stick around. More coming on The Gang Show right here.